Here we're going to walk through a brief overview of how to engage with the map of US militarization in our Americas. So the tool was initially designed to deepen our understanding and internalization of the Zone of Peace campaign. The Zone of Peace campaign, of which BAP is a member in the Popular Steering Committee for a Zone of Peace in our Americas, is leading an effort to activate the popular movements in our region in support of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States' initial 2014 call to make the Americas, from Canada to Chile, a zone of peace. Since the campaign itself is rooted in the Black radical peace tradition, that further defines for us what peace means in this context. We understand then that peace is not the absence of conflict, but rather the engagement in popular struggle and self-defense in order to defeat the global systems of oppression. As a result, the campaign has 6 core demands that are really rooted in demilitarization. The idea then is that this tool gives us a way to see collectively US militarization as an oppressive force in the region, and then what it looks like visually throughout our Americas so that we can make tangible connections across the region to see how US military is supported and sustained, whether that is through shared personnel, weapons, cross-training, equipment, funding, policies. And by making these connections, we're understanding our shared struggle and as a result, deepening our sustained solidarity and resistance over time. We know right now that the tool is just at a base layer and that it's going to grow and evolve with our collective effort. So let's take a moment to take a deep dive into the map, see how we can use it now, and also see how we can contribute to its growth. You can access the website by going to the Black Alliance for Peace website, which is blackallianceforpeace.com, and clicking on the resources tab. By scrolling, you'll find this page, which is the map of US militarization in our Americas. There's a bit of overview information at the top. We'll walk through how to use the tool functionally as well as politically. And it's also accompanied by a narrative guide so that we can understand the application and analysis of the visuals that we're seeing on the map, and then what it means in terms of the impacts of US militarization and US imperialism, and then how to move forward with coordinated action in order to defeat that. So here at the top, you can also access the guide as a PDF by clicking this link here, or you can access the guide in kind of a side-by-side view. So you can see as I scroll through, we're looking through an abbreviated version of the guide. Anything that is in red is a clickable link for further exploration, so that as we're looking and exploring the map on the right-hand side, we can connect it to a principled analysis on the left. So just as a starting point in order to use the tool politically, and again, this isn't comprehensive. We're going to definitely rely on a collective effort as it grows and evolves in order to use it to most effectively. But as a baseline, you can see here at the top of the map just some considerations to potentially engage with it currently. Using, of course, the map as an educational resource, whether that's for yourself and your own exploration, or whether you're using it as a base for a teach-in in your neighborhood, in your region, within your organization, internally, public-facing, and using that exploration, whether that's by reading the guide, connecting it to specific geographic points on the map, to start to ask more questions and to start to research maybe the deepened connections to US imperialism through these various forces of militarization and these different entities that we're seeing. We also wanted to be able to really inform geographically where we're showing up in terms of local organizing and local agitation. So using the information that's on the map to figure out what's actually close to us, as well as understanding the connection between the local struggle and the global struggle. Here's of course where we're asking you to engage with us on a really consistent level. We understand, of course, that there is information that's available to us and that is more accessible to us. And we also understand that there's information that can only be provided from sources that are on the ground, who are experiencing this firsthand in real time. So we would love for, of course, the map to be a collective effort that is accurate in terms of the true representation of the violence and occupation of US militarization, again, in its various forms. So in order for that to happen, we're looking for your contributions. We're looking for the information that you'd like to share for us to be able to reflect that on the map most accurately. There's a form here that you can click in order to begin that process, and there's multiple entry points in order to engage in that process. Whether you want to provide information or files directly, there's a way to do that. Whether you'd like to have a collaboration, there's a way to do that. Or whether you'd simply like to make a request for a specific region, you can make that request as well, and we can do the research on our end. Either way, that form is a way for us to be able to connect with you so that we can honor the vision that you have of whatever the additional information to the map looks like. So we'd love for you to engage with us in that way. A brief overview, and this is our final point, to use the map functionally. I will enlarge the map so that it takes up my full screen, just so you can see. By clicking this 4 corners icon, it will take up the whole screen. And from there, you can use your mouse or these plus and minus signs to zoom in and zoom out. Right now, I have on all of the layers. When you hover over this icon in the top right-hand corner, you'll be able to see the various layers. And simply, looking at them together shows us the mass occupation of militarized entities across our Americas. And so that is a powerful tool in and of itself. You can also click certain layers on and off if you would like to look at specific pieces. Again, understanding, of course, that this is just the beginning of the layers, and we're really eager to see where the growth of the map goes from here, given our collective efforts. As a brief note, the solid black stars are the case studies layer right now, which is this bottom layer you can see here. When we click on one of those, we'll see some narrative information related to the occupation of specific regions by the US military in its various forms. Sometimes, just in order to take a deep dive there, mapping the entities themselves just wasn't enough to fully understand the reach of that oppression. And so some case studies were investigated in order to more accurately reflect that oppression on the map. We'd also like to expand that layer with your collective effort. So again, you can click on any icon here for additional information and to start to make tangible connections across our Americas. So we would love, of course, to hear from you. Let me share some contact information. So the Zone of Peace campaign has an organizational arm, the US/NATO Out of Our Americas network, that is really leading the strategic and coordinated action forward collectively in order for us to achieve the demands of the Zone of Peace campaign. Please connect with us about that network as well. We know that those organizations are going to be instrumental in allowing this map to evolve, again, to a place where it's most impactful for us all to use it as an organizing tool and make these connections of our shared struggle and deepen our solidarity in order to defeat U.S. imperialism. So you can find out more information about the US/NATO Out of Our Americas network, as well as more information on the Zone of Peace campaign in 2 places. One is zoneofpeace.org, that really dives into the network for you, as well as blackallianceforpeace.com/Zone of Peace, which has further information on the campaign, as well as propaganda and logos that you can download in order to further promote this resource and engage with the resource. If you're interested in joining the network, please contact us at zonadepaz@proton.me. We would also love to hear from you at that email if you would like to share how you are engaging with the map. What type of action are you engaging with? What type of research? What sort of teach-in? How are you using it as a tool for political education? And again, what pieces would you like to add? So we would love to hear from you about that, and as well for you to share your resistance to US militarization. That will also be an upcoming layer where we're able to use the map as a tool to inspire and motivate further action to plug into sustained resistance against US militarization and US imperialism. Further, if you have technical questions about the map itself, or you'd like to engage with an addition to the map, we again encourage you to fill out that form, but you can also contact us with any questions or clarifications at solidarity@blackallianceforpeace.com. We know that together, collectively, not only through this tool, but beyond this tool, that's how we're going to be able to win the demands of the Zone of Peace campaign and to rid our Americas of this violent occupation of U.S. military forces so that we can truly make our Americas a zone of peace.